Hi guys, welcome YouTube. I just wanted to show you guys another hobby of mine, which is growing crystals. As you can see, I have had a lot of practice at this over the years. I've tried many times to, make my own type of crystals with different varieties of sets that you can get. Everything from the Dollar Tree variety to all the way up to the, let's say Toys R Us variety, the expensive stuff. And, I don't see any difference in any of them because they're all basically made up of the same thing. It's a type of salt, which I believe is alum, I believe, or an alum salt, which is basically the same thing that's in this weather device. This weather device can, depending on the pressure and the temperature and whatnot that is exerted on the outside of the glass, can change the pressure and temperature inside, which could thus cause the I'm sorry, the salts to basically crystallize in different various shapes and forms. So there's all different kinds of varieties of shapes and forms. However, I believe I've perfected a way to make individual crystals at a time, as I'll show you here in a second with these two particularly and these two very large ones. I figured out a way to refine them. Let me show you a few things first. First of all, if you're interested in this, if you're not interested in this, I would suggest just not, turn the video. But if you are interested, just keep watching. This is about making crystal out of alum type salts or aluminum type salts. There are all different kinds of chemicals, salts that crystallize in this chemical set that I had, okay? There were types you can make jewelry out of, and then there are the types that you can refine and run the crystal through over and over again. Well, that was my idea anyway. Nobody else told me to do that. So I'm just going to give you a closer look at some of these. See the structure. All right. And then I'll give you a background on each one. These particular ones are here. This is what you'll get if you just dip a string in it and want to make like a bracelet out of it or something. This is what you're gonna get, okay? Something like this. And yeah, my girlfriend likes it. She told me not to destroy it. I wanted to re-salvage it and use it so I can rerun a process all over again, so I can redo it because I thought it looked horrible. Anyway, just like this one, I think looks horrible, but she don't want me to touch this one either, and I can salvage the salts that are on this string anyway. Anyhow, to make more of these. So let me tell you how I made these. First of all, out of one concentrated substrate of the water or whatever you want to use as your base, I guess, not your base, but your substrate, in order to whatever you want to use to crystallize these in, whether it be water. In my case, I use a form of hydrogen peroxide 3%, and I got a totally different type of crystal out of it. Because with water, what they typically do is they grow a squarish type of crystal, which is, I can't think of the name of the shape, all right, but it's more like a kind of like a pyramid with the top of it shaved off, but it's more square, like the base of the pyramid, like a square. They were more square-like, but they had the angles like a base of a pyramid. So they were like a large pyramid, only the base though, with the whole top cut off. That's how they were shaped. Well, I took those as starter crystals with the same solution and put it in and refined it in the same solution, and it tried to add spires to it, which is what these two are here, spires. These two were also started with what I call starter crystals. What I mean by starter crystal, I'll take a crystal, as long as it's its own unit, like it's its own crystal structure, and I'll put it in and run it through the process all over again and make it even bigger. And some of these I've done a third time, like these here. These were run through the process 3 times. So basically you could say these are refined crystals. This here is a starter, just to give you a general idea. And some of these you can actually see the starter through it. It looks square. That's the best way I could explain it. It was originally a square crystal. Just to give you a general idea. I like how the color was dispersed through it, especially with the spires. I love the spire coming off the edge of that one. I just want to give you a perspective of that. But I'm going to give you a side perspective, and you can clearly see the square original crystal that was in it, or the base of a pyramid, basically. That's the shape it was. I can't think of the name of the shape. Perhaps I should have done more research before I did the video. But in this case, I was so excited about the process and how I perfected it that I wanted to do a video on it, and I wanted you guys to know about this other hobby I have. So anyway, these are the spires. What it looks like it did with my square crystals, my square starter crystals, like this little starter crystal here, this would start a whole nother crystal here. This would probably make another spire. Because these here, I had actually cut off the top of these and used it as a starter. As you can see in the middle of this one, you can see the red in it from this one. It's in the center. I